And so to start, you'll want to sit comfortably in a place where your feet can be flat on the earth, flat on the floor. You can feel an upright spine. And then close the eyes. So eyes closed, feet flat on the ground. Feel your hips rooting down into the chair. Feel one long line of energy from your hips, the tailbone, all the way up through to the top of the head. Bring just a very slight tuck of the chin, just so you feel the back of the neck lengthen. And then shoulders dropped down away from the ears. Finding that balance between the effort of sitting upright, but finding ease in the body at the same time. The relaxing shoulders. And start to focus on the breath. You don't need to change the breath yet at this point. Just notice your breath. Just try to feel the sensation of every inhale and every exhale. Letting the breath bring you into this present moment. The mind loves to wander and become distracted. It's the mind's job to create meaning and find patterns in what we're observing. So it's always moving, always thinking. Maybe venturing into the past or maybe venturing into the future. So when we can focus on our breath, it gives our mind something to do that's neutral and right here in the present moment. Now consciously start to lengthen the breath. Drawing the breath deep into the lungs. Feel the diaphragm, the belly expand on inhale as you draw that breath in. The chest will rise second. And then as you take a long, slow exhale, allow belly to fall. And take these long, slow breaths in. And long, slow breaths out. At whatever pace works for you. Just lengthening every breath, deepening every breath. Notice every exhale, the body is softening a little bit. With every exhale, the mind releases and softens a bit. We'll take a deep breath in together. And a big exhale. Release all of the breath. Deep breath in. Big exhale. And one more deep breath in. Big exhale. And keeping the spine upright, gently tuck the chin down to the chest. Just let the forehead fall forward and fall heavy. And now the palms can be resting on the legs or in the lap. You can have either palms down or palms facing up. Choose the option that helps your shoulders relax a little bit more here. Allow the head to fall heavy till you're feeling sensation in the back of the neck, into the upper back as well. And start to take tiny movements, maybe an inch to either side. Very slow movements. The head rocks an inch to the right, chin to chest, and an inch to the left. And start to make those movements a little bit bigger. Rocking a little bit more to one side and then the other. At your own pace until eventually you're making full half circles, rocking the head all the way to one side and then chin to chest and all the way to the other. We'll take several more rounds of breath, just moving in these half circle shapes at whatever your own pace is. Remember to breathe. And if you'd like to take this into gentle full circles, you can, but move slowly, carefully. Maybe the head rocks around and back, only if that feels right for your body. And going in both directions. In the next breath or two, the next circle or two, make your way back to a neutral spine with the head at center and lifted. And then we'll gently just drop the head over to your right. And let the side of the head be heavy. And then bring your left arm behind your back. And then you'll take your right arm and grab the left wrist. Draw that left wrist down and to the right. So toward the side where you're leaning the head. That will just help to open up the top of the left shoulder. Continue to let that head be heavy as you breathe and let the shoulder open. And then gently release that arm. Lift the gaze back through center. Take a big shoulder circle. So lifting the shoulders up by the ears, move the shoulders back and down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift, move shoulders back and down, and 1 more like that. And then release the shoulders down. Drop the left ear toward the left shoulder. Letting the left side of the head be heavy. Opening up the top of this right shoulder, the right side of the neck. And then we'll take the right arm behind us and grab the right wrist with your left hand, drawing down and to the left as you continue to keep the head heavy to the left. Breathing here, trying to soften the shoulders. Notice if tension is arising as this area opens and stretches. And then release the arm, bring the head back through center. And then 3 big shoulder circles. Again, inhale, lift the shoulders, move them back, and then draw them down. Inhale, lift, move them back and down. And 1 more time, inhale, and back and down. Good. From here, we'll just start to roll out the wrists a little bit. We're just going to wake up our extremities. So you can roll the wrists, go in the other direction. Get all the little cracks out, unless that's just me. And then you can wiggle the fingers, wakes up the muscles in the forearm and the wrists, and then open and close the fists, just getting some energy moving in the palms. And then rub the hands together, just building up some heat, some energy. The hands are attached to the heart energetically. And then pause, just feel that vibration between the hands, the warmth you've created. And then bring those hands down to the lap or to the knees. And we'll take some seated cat-cows. So on an inhale, we pull the heart forward, arch through the back, try to open the heart, open the collarbones. And on an exhale, we pull belly to spine and round. Really feel like you could push your heart all the way to the back of the chair. And then inhale, we come forward. The pelvis tips forward if it were a bowl, like you're spilling the water forward. On exhale, belly to spine and round. And we'll continue like this at your own pace for a while. Inhaling and exhaling. Take 1 more round here. And then the next time you come up, we're going to take a similar movement, but circles. So think about leading from the rib cage or from the solar plexus, where we're going to shift our rib cage to the left, Move forward, bringing that heart around to the right. And then we pull the belly back, making a big circle. So mostly the head is staying upright, but you can think about this rib cage making big circles with our movement. So inhale, the ribs come forward. Exhale, they come back. Almost like you could stir the inside of a pot or the inside of a barrel with your ribs. And this loosens up the low back, the mid back. Take a few more rounds in this direction. Linking breath with movement. And then we'll switch directions. Inhale. Exhale to come back. Stirring that pot. Or one teacher says the wine barrel, scooping outside or around the inside of a wine barrel. A few more rounds in this direction. My chair is very squeaky. I don't know if you can hear that. And then finding some stillness. And then we'll grab the right side of your chair. So you can either put your hand just right next to you on your chair, depending on how big the chair is, or you'll grab underneath the chair. Feel both feet firmly planted. Feel both hips firmly planted and keep them there. And then the opposite arm, that left arm, will reach up and over, and we'll take a side bend. So as the left arm reaches over by your left ear, you want to feel space being made in this entire left side, almost like you could visualize the ribs spreading apart. Breathe deep breaths into that side. So it might make the breath feel a little bit restricted. We use the breath to make space. One more deep breath. And come all the way back up. And we'll take it to the other side. Your left hand can come down to either next to you or grabbing the chair. Both hips, both feet grounded, and reach the right arm up and over. The right hip might try to come up, so actively press it down. Deep breaths into that left side. And then come all the way back up. We'll take it 2 more times each side, but just one breath. So big exhale to take it to the right. Inhale through center and switch to the other side. Big exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Good. Inhale through center. Reach both arms up. And then cactus your elbows. So making like this goal post shape. Try to squeeze your elbows together behind you as though they could touch. And just feel how that opens the front of the heart. And then take the hands behind you onto the chair. You can just press down onto the chair with either your fingertips or your palms. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other so it forces the center of the chest. Force isn't really a nice word, but it causes the center of the chest to push upward. And then breathe here. The breath might feel a little bit restricted. We consciously try to send the breath into the front of the chest. This is an antidote for all of our screen use we might be using, or if you're looking down, reading a lot, knitting, doing art, maybe even gardening, you know, anything where our head is down or our back is rounded. This can even that out. Take a couple more breaths. And then come all the way up, back to neutral. Take a deep breath in to press the hips down, sit nice and tall. We'll cross the left arm over the body and take it to the right outer thigh. And now your right arm will either come behind you on the chair, or you can even grab the back of the chair or the side of the chair. We're going to pause here in a twist. So think about your heart trying to twist all the way to the right. It's less about trying to move from the shoulders and more trying to move the heart and the solar plexus. And then as we hold here, with every inhale, feel yourself getting a little bit taller. And with every exhale, feel yourself able to soften into the twist. So not forcing it, just finding that little flow with breath. Inhale, it might be a millimeter of height we grow, and then exhale, gently soften into it. Take a few more breaths like this. Unravel back through center. Take one breath at center, just letting the spine reset. And then take a deep breath in. And then we'll cross the right arm over to the left thigh or knee. Take that left hand behind you, either on the chair right behind you, on the seat, or on the back of the chair, helping yourself to twist. Heart twisting all the way to the left this time. And we breathe. Big breath in to grow taller. Big exhale to twist a little deeper. And then come all the way back through center. Take another breath at center, evening out the spine. Good. And then from here, we're gonna wake up our feet a little bit. Might be hard to see. See if I can move back a little bit. So we're just gonna lift one leg and roll the ankle. So just like we did with the wrists, roll the ankle around, going in both directions. And then point and flex the toes, just to wake up the leg. As we press through the heel, it wakes up the back of the leg. As we push through the toes, wakes up the front of the leg. So continue to point and flex, roll out the ankle, whatever feels good. And then we'll switch sides. Send the other leg out and point and flex. Roll the ankles. Going in both directions. Good, pointing and flexing. Zoom really magnifies things that are closer, so it's making my feet look giant. Good. And then coming all the way back up. Now from here, we'll take a seated sun salutation. We're going to go through a few different rounds, but I'll teach it pretty slowly to start. So our seated sun salutation will link breath with movement. On an inhale, we reach the arms out and up. On an exhale, we'll take that cactus shape with the arms, which helps us to open the heart a little bit, pulling the elbows back, and we lean forward with a flat spine, and then eventually the arms come down and we totally fold all the way down. You can let the head hang if that feels okay. So this is our version of our forward fold. Then on an inhale, we come to a halfway lift. Slide the hands back up and lift up halfway, leading, your hands can be at your knees, and think of the heart reaching forward. So your spine is as flat as you can make it. That's our halfway lift. On an exhale, we fold all the way down again. And on an inhale, press into your feet and lift yourself all the way back up to an upright seat. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Palms come to touch. And then exhale, drawing hands to heart center. So it's our seated half sun salutation. Inhale, reach those arms up. Maybe the palms touch. Exhale, cactus the elbows and lean forward with a flat spine, and then eventually the hands just come down as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come back up to the shins or the knees. Reach the heart forward. Exhale, fold again. And then rise back up, pressing into the feet, reaching the arms up overhead, upright seat. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll take a few more like this. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, cactus the elbows and fold with a flat spine. Hands come all the way down. Fold, release the head. Inhale, hands to shins or knees. Reach the crown forward. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet and rise back up. Inhaling the arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Two more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus the elbows and lean forward and eventually fold. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head and heart reaching forward. Exhale, fold. Press and rise. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. And we'll take one more. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, cactus, lean forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. And then rising all the way back up. Inhale, last time, arms come all the way up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Close your eyes for a moment, press your thumbs into your chest, and just feel your body. Just notice sensations, no right or wrong. And then gently open the eyes, and we'll come to stand. We'll do a little bit of standing work, and you'll stand behind your chair, assuming you have a back of a chair to hold on to, I think. Yes. So standing behind your chair, bring your right foot forward and your left foot back. And you'll come into a little bit of a lunge here. So we'll have a bend in the front knee. Now the back heel can be lifted. So we're in a bit of a supported lunge, hands on the back of the chair. Good. And just try to press that back heel down toward the floor. It doesn't need to touch, but try to press it back so that you feel a stretch in the calf. Good. And now we'll come to a warrior one. So that back heel will spin all the way down. Your back foot will be at about a 45-degree angle, pointing up to the top left area of outside of your chair. Deep bend in that front knee. You can either keep the hands down or you can reach the arms up. Good, and then we'll reach the left arm up. So opposite arm from whichever leg is forward. And we'll take big arm circles in either direction, reaching that left arm up and around. Now, if it feels okay, follow the hand with your gaze. So watch the hand as it comes around and back, because that will help your torso to twist and open as you move. And then switch directions, take 3 or so circles in the opposite direction. If it feels okay, watch the hand as it moves around. Good, and then finding some stillness, we'll come back to have both hands on the back of the chair. And whichever way is easiest, I'd like to shorten the stance and then step both feet back. We're going to come into a version of our chair downward dog. So you're going to have your arms extended, walk the feet way back, and let the heart and the head melt down so you feel a nice stretch through the back. Now, depending on your legs, sometimes you can feel this more if you bring a little bit of a bend into your knees, especially if you feel a lot of tension in the backs of the legs. Bend the knees a little bit, see how that feels. Really pressing those hips back. Deep breaths here. Imagine that your vertebrae and your spine are just spreading apart. Someone's stretching you from opposite ends, making space. Deep breaths help to make that space. One more breath here. Good, and then slowly start to come up, walk the feet forward. Bring your front of your body right against the back of the chair gently. Grab the front of the chair and push the heart up toward the sky, so we take a little bit of a back bend. Depending on the height of your chair, it will be at a different place. Just lift heart to sky. And then release. Come back to a neutral standing position. This time we'll have the left foot forward and the right foot back, coming into that lunge again. So left foot forward, right foot back. Try to turn the hips to face the chair. And just press that back heel down toward the earth to try to stretch through that back calf. And it doesn't have to fully come down. And then we transition to warrior one. So the back heel does spin down, but the toes are turned out about a 45-degree angle. The torso and the hips still try to face the chair. You can keep hands down or hands up. And that back foot, you're really trying to press into the outer edge of the back foot, the pinky side edge pressing down. And whether your arms are up or down, we're going to take that right arm now and take big arm circles. If it's easier to keep that left hand on the chair while you circle, that's fine. And if it feels okay, so keep your feet firmly rooted and watch the hand as it comes around. And again, that just helps us to sort of open the torso to the side as we circle. And then we'll switch directions with the arm. See if you can link breath with movement, inhaling as the arm comes up, exhaling as the arm comes down. Good. And then we'll come all the way back, bring both hands back to the chair. Maybe shorten the stance, step both feet back. And again, coming into that version of our downward facing dog, holding onto the chair, walking those feet back as far as you can, making some length. Again, maybe soft bend in the knees. Feel your spine as long as it can be. Tailbone reaching back. Deep breaths. And then slowly come all the way back up. We'll walk the feet close to the chair. Hold on to the front of the chair one more time. Press your hips forward, lift the heart to the sky. Deep breath. And then release. And then you'll just turn to face so that you can hold on to the chair with one hand. You can face any direction. We're going to play with our balance a little bit here. We'll do a little tree pose. So holding on with one hand, take your opposite leg, the leg farthest from the chair, and kickstand the heel against the ankle. So I think we're on different sides, but it doesn't matter. One heel against opposite ankle with the knee coming out to the side. Now you can stay here if you want to play around with bringing hands to heart center. This is a nice way to practice balance because both feet are down, but we're just on the toes of one foot. It helps when you're balancing to gaze at something in the distance that's not moving. That's your drishti, your focal point. If you want to take it further, you can feel free to hold on or not and bring the foot completely up to the lower leg or even up to the upper leg. Sometimes we need to help it get up there. So whichever you choose. Press actively down into that standing leg. This standing leg has to work really hard, and sometimes what happens is we kind of stick this hip out like we're holding a baby because your body's making it easier for you. But we want to actively press, press, press down so we grow taller. Take one more breath here. If you'd like to play around with a more difficult version, you can have hands to heart or hands up for a moment. Let yourself wobble, it's okay. One more breath. And then we'll come all the way down and shake out that standing leg. So I like to kind of move the leg around to move the hip, or I bring the toes down and kind of move the knee back and forth. I call this the Elvis leg. You can roll out the ankle and just release that hip. And then we'll do the other side. You can either face the opposite direction so that your same foot that's furthest from the chair can balance, or just switch. Opposite foot will kickstand, so heel against the ankle of the standing leg, knee coming out to the side. Find your strength here in this version. And if you'd like to make this more challenging, you can bring the hands together to your heart. Or you can choose to bring the foot up to the lower leg or to the upper leg. And then from there, you choose hands to heart. We breathe, keep pressing down actively into the standing leg foot. Maybe reach the arms up, play around with it. Embrace your wobbling if you are. One more breath. And then come all the way back down softly. And then again, we'll move out that standing leg. You can move the knee gently back and forth. Kind of just take circles with the leg or roll out the ankle. Depending on your body, you might feel it more in the ankle or you might feel it more in the hip, kind of depending where your body is using most of its strength. Good. From here, before we come back to the chair, we're just going to take one forward fold from standing if it feels okay. So bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Bring a soft bend into the knees. And we're just going to fold down, letting yourself, with bent knees, fold forward toward the floor if this feels okay. We bend the knees because we want to have the heart melting down toward the thighs. Your hands can either maybe rest gently on the floor or maybe you cross the arms, sort of gripping the arms in a rag doll. And breathe here. This opens the backs of the legs. You can sway a little bit if that feels okay. A gentle shift of the weight side to side. And then release the grip on the arms. And press into your feet. And roll yourself back up to stand. Good. Take your time. And then we'll come all the way back to our chair. For our last little bit here. So getting into the hips, our first pose will be a version of a seated goddess pose. So we're going to take the legs wide. Move this back a little. And so your ankles will be approximately under the knees. And gently use your hands to gently guide the thighs away from each other. This just helps get into the inner line of the leg. It doesn't matter how wide the legs are, just go to the place that feels right for you. And then we'll take this into a twist. So what we'll do is with your right arm, try to press against the leg and straighten the arm and then let that right shoulder drop as you look to the left. So my left arm is bent, but I try my best to straighten or almost straighten the right arm as I look to the left, heart reaching forward, feeling that twist. And then come back through center and we'll take it to the other side. So it's a lean forward. Now straighten the left arm, that left shoulder will drop and we twist to the right, gaze to the right. And breathe. If it feels painful, just back out of it a little bit. Good, come back through center. Inhale, find length at center. Exhale, take it one more time to the other side. Press against the right arm, gaze to the left. Left shoulder drops or right shoulder drops. Inhale, back through center. Opposite side, press against the left arm. Left shoulder drops, gaze to the right. Come back up through center. Deep breath in at center. Exhale, release. We'll bring the legs back to fairly close together. And we'll come into a hip opener before we take our resting pose. So for this hip opener, you can either just cross the legs like you're just hanging out in a chair. That will get into that outer hip of whichever leg is on top. Or if you have the space, you'll start to slide the knee out to the side, maybe helping it with the foot, coming more into sort of a figure 4 shape. Now, it might not look totally flat like this. The leg could be up like this, and that's okay. Whichever version or whatever your body's doing, we're getting into the outer hip. So if that feels okay, or it feels like you're getting enough sensation, you'll stay there. You can flex through the foot. So whichever foot is on top, press through the heel, pull the toes back, which will stabilize the knee. And maybe you stay here, or maybe with a long spine, you start to lean forward any amount. And you'll notice even just a small amount of leaning forward can intensify the sensation in that hip. And we breathe here. The breath is especially important with our poses of the hips, because our hips they like to resist. They like to push back against our poses. So with every exhale, consciously imagining that hip is releasing. Imagining that tension softening. And then come all the way back up if you're leaning forward. Very carefully unravel the legs. Maybe you want to straighten that leg or straighten both legs. You can kind of move the leg side to side. And then we'll take it to the other side. So opposite leg over. You can either just be sitting cross-legged or gently slide the leg over so that it's more your shin or your ankle that's on top of the opposite thigh. Whatever foot is on top, flex through that foot, pull the toes back. This might be enough, or if you want more, you start to lean forward any amount. Know that one side can be totally different from the other. And that's okay. Every exhale, feel that hip release. Even just imagining it is. And then slowly come all the way back up. Very gently unravel the legs. And then you can give them a little shake, little windshield wiper of the feet side to side. And then we'll sit back and come into our final resting pose. If you need any other wiggles or movements to feel like you can rest for a few minutes, just take a few minutes to lean back in the chair, or find a way to let the body release a little bit. So depending on your chair, imagine that if you could take a nap in this chair, how would you be the most comfortable? And find that place. The hands maybe are on the lap. Sometimes I interlace the fingers on the belly, and that can allow the shoulders to release and just rest. Your feet don't need to be flat on the floor. Your head can do whatever feels best. And we'll take a few minutes to just rest and let all of that work we've done integrate into the body. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale. Close the eyes if they aren't. And take a few minutes and just rest in our version of Shavasana. The body soaking in everything we've done, integrating. as we allow ourselves to just be here. Without moving, start to just become aware of your breath. And start to deepen it. Start to lengthen out inhales and exhales. And just notice how you feel as you start to breathe consciously. How does body feel? How do the emotions feel? How does the mind feel? And start to bring some movement into your body, maybe wiggling your fingers or rolling the wrists. Maybe rolling the ankles. Gently press yourself back up to your upright seat. And then take a deep breath in to reach the arms up overhead. Maybe interlace the fingers or grab the wrists and really reach, reach, reach. And then bring the hands down to the lap. Shoulders soft, eyes closed. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale. Deep breath in. Fill the lungs. Big exhale. And again, deep breath in. And exhale. Bring hands together in front of the heart. Feel the thumbs press into the center of your chest. And send yourself love and gratitude for being here today and for taking care of your body, mind, and soul in this way, making this sacred time. Send love and gratitude to your body for everything it's able to do, for taking care of us during this stressful time, and for walking us through this life. And I thank you so much for allowing me to be your teacher. The good and the light in me bows to the good and the light in you. Namaste.